Hey everyone, this is my resin painting on canvas and I thought you guys would like to see how it was done. So the first thing that I do is I prime my canvas. I just pick a color, and this one was purple, obviously. So I pick a color that I think it just kind of makes the resin pop more, and if your colors end up a little bit translucent, it's okay because you've got a layer of acrylic paint underneath. So for this one, I just mixed up some purple and painted my canvas before I started pouring my resin. I made sure I got the edges good. And then after I covered my canvas and let it dry for a few minutes, I mixed all of my resin up. I decided to go with really bright colors on this one. So I did some pink and some turquoise and some purple and white and gold. If I had it to do over again, I would probably make about a quarter more of a cup in all of those different colors. I kind of misjudged the size of my canvas. This canvas is really big. It's 18 by 24, but it ended up working out. You'll see in the end. So I just poured my colors just kind of all over the canvas, and then I hit it with some clear. And I really like putting the clear coat in there because it adds dimension to it. It makes it look a little bit more 3D in some spots. And so here, that's my heat gun. The heat, when you apply heat to the resin, it thins it out and it makes it move really nicely. So you can tilt your canvas and make it move where you want it to go. And it also pops all the air bubbles out of the resin. So I added some white. And this project was kind of just trial and error. You'll see I didn't like some of the lines that I got that I poured. So you can just kind of move those around with your finger, and I ended up using my heat gun to really kind of blow some of those lines out because I wanted it to be more, kind of cloudy and fanned out instead of straight lines. But that's the great thing about heat and the great thing about resin. The hotter you get it, the thinner it gets, and you can move it, kind of anywhere you want it. So using my heat gun to kind of thin things out, move it around. Then kind of tilting it, see where it wants to go. It changes, the heat also changes the viscosity of the resin, so it can create some really nice effects sometimes depending on how much heat you apply. You don't want to overheat it or scorch it, although sometimes that happens, but that's okay, it's salvageable. Then I put a little bit of gold into it. In all of my resin, I used metallic acrylic paints and glitter in them, so this piece is very sparkly and very bright. Just hitting it with some more heat because those gold lines were pretty straight, and I didn't necessarily want straight lines in this piece, so that's why I heated it up and tilted it. Putting a little bit more pink, and then a little bit more white and some gold on here. And then I used my heat gun to kind of move it around into a different shape. You can see the glitter, how much it's sparkling when I'm tilting it. And then, if you're not happy, then just pick up your popsicle stick and start mixing it up. See what happens. I use my fingers to kind of fill in the edges. And then also when I'm finished, I'll put a flood coat of clear resin over the top of it. So all of the edges will be finished really nicely once the piece is finished. And then here I use my heat gun to kind of create a circle, like circle effect where it kind of swirls around. I'm just moving the resin around with my heat gun. It was kind of neat. The heat on the heat gun created some pretty cool cell effects in the white at the bottom of the swirl there, which you can see in the finished piece. So this project was really just a process of trial and error to see what I liked and see what I didn't like. I recognized towards the end that I still had a lot of gold left that I didn't want to waste. So I continued the swirl pattern and kind of mixed it up with a popsicle stick. It really has some dimension because there are like 4 layers of resin on it now, and then I hit it with the heat gun. The gold also has a lot of glitter to it, so it adds a lot of shine to the piece. Just tilting it to let it move. See where it wants to go. And so that's pretty much it. After I used the heat a couple of more times, got it exactly like I wanted it. I didn't want any clear lines, so I blew those lines out a little bit. And then I just let it be. So tomorrow, after it cures for about 24 hours, I'll put a flood coat on top of it, and we'll be finished. So that's my Golden Galaxy resin painting.